I'm getting feedback, so I'm going to figure out which one of these to turn off.
You may have to turn the volume down on the big TV just a little bit.
All right. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Carpenter, Judge of the 75th District Court. Today is the landlord-tenant, and there is a presentation that I need to show you that regards the rights that you have as tenants, and we'll also give you the next date that you'll need to be in court. Katrina, I'm still getting feedback.
Can you turn the volume down on the TV a little more?
No, it's off. It's the big system.
Can you turn the volume down a little bit on your computer?
Let me try this. Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
No, I can't hear you. All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Katrina, can you hear me yet?
Yes, sir.
I don't know why I'm getting feedback. Let's see. All right, how about now?
Perfect, just like you were.
All right, good. I think we got it resolved. All right, sorry about that. It's a little difficult when you hear yourself immediately right after you talk, so it's throwing me off a little bit. We have a number of cases today for which there is a request for termination of tenancy. So if you're a person who's for termination of tenancy, your date is probably going to be different than if the request is for what typically is known as pay and stay. So there's some people that your landlord says, as long as you catch up rent, they're okay with you staying. And then there's other cases where they say they really are not interested in whether or not you pay rent or not. And the timing of those hearings are going to be different. What we're going to do is go over the requirements and warnings that I'm required to do, as the Michigan Supreme Court has set some specific guidelines. And so instead of reading it individually, I've done a pre-recording on a PowerPoint presentation. Then after that, I will call each individual case. And we have a number of members from Legal Services of Eastern Michigan who are here to assist you today. That if you wish, you may meet with them. You're not required to, but if you wish to meet with them, they can provide you some information. They probably today would just be getting your name and information and a contact name so they can contact you at a later date. But we will make that available to you in a private setting by Zoom. So without further ado, let me get started on the PowerPoint presentation. All right. Katrina, can you see the presentation?
No, sir, it's your main screen.
All right, let's get the right one then. Welcome to the 75th District Court. This case is a landlord-tenant dispute. There are a number of rights that I must inform you about and that you will see on the following screens. First, I want to advise you that you have a right to an attorney. If you do not have an attorney but are financially able to retain one, you may locate an attorney through the State Bar of Michigan or a local lawyer referral service. The State Bar of Michigan can be reached at 517-346-6300, or you may contact on the web at www.mishbar.org. If you do not have an attorney and you are not financially able to retain one, you might qualify for assistance through the local legal aid office by calling 800-322-4512. There are a number of different agencies, both state and locally, that may be able to assist you. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the local Coordinated Entry Agency, which in Midland County is called Home to Stay,
the Federal Help for Homeless Veterans Program, or the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, or other community agencies may be able to assist you with payment of some or all of your rent that is due. MDHHS may be reached locally at 989-835-7070 or on the web at www.michigan.gov/mybridges. You may contact Home to Stay at 989-496-9550. If you seek assistance for veterans, you may be available through the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans. That number is 1-877-424-3838 or the Department of Veterans Affairs Homeless Veterans homepage at www.va.gov. The Housing Development Authority may be reached at 517-335-9953. It's important for you to know that you do not need a judgment to receive assistance from MDHHS or the local CEA, which is Home to Stay. The summons and complaint from the court case is sufficient. If you have a caseworker at MDHHS, you should contact your worker immediately. If you do not have a caseworker at MDHHS, you should contact MDHHS at 989-835-7070, or you may go on to the web at www.michigan.gov/mybridges and do so immediately. The Michigan Community Dispute Resolution Program, known as CDRP, and the local CDRP offices are available as a possible source for this case resolution. CDRP may be involved in resolution of the summary proceedings cases, but must be agreed to by both parties. They can be reached or contacted at 810-249-2619, or the office is located at 315 East Court Street, Suite 200 in Flint, Michigan. You should also know that there is a possibility of having a conditional dismissal, which is pursuant to MCR 2.602, if approved by all parties. Forms are available to effectuate such a conditional dismissal online at www.courts.michigan.gov. There may be an attorney representative from Legal Services of Eastern Michigan available for you to meet with today if you would like. You are not under any obligation to meet with the attorney, but you may if you wish. Make sure to let the judge know when he asks you if you want to do this, and we will provide you a confidential opportunity to do so. However, they are here to give you general advice on how to handle your case and give you advice on how to seek financial assistance.
On March 22nd, 2021, the Michigan Supreme Court amended its order 2020-17 as follows. In cases filed pursuant to MCL 600-57141A for non-payment of rent, the court must stay, meaning stop, further proceedings after the pretrial hearing is conducted and not proceed to judgment if a defendant applies for COVID emergency rental assistance, which is the acronym is CERA, and notifies the court of the application. This stay or stop is contingent upon you doing some actions, however. In order to be eligible, an eligibility determination is made by the appropriate HARA, which is Home to Stay, within 30 days of the pretrial hearing. The defendant is eligible to receive rental assistance for all rent owed, and the plaintiff or landlord receives full payment from the CERA program within 45 days of the pretrial hearing. If any of these things do not occur, excluding delays attributable to the plaintiff or landlord, meaning that they caused the delay, the court must lift the stay and continue with the proceedings. This is the end of the advice of rights as required by Michigan Supreme Court Order 2020-17. Now I'm going to call each individual case that we have for the record, and I will ask you to unmute when you hear your name, please. First case I'm calling is file 21-23302LT. That is RL&M Properties versus Anna Galloway and Dallas Stasek. Would the attorney for the plaintiffs please identify himself?
Good morning, Your Honor. Mike Mischik. I am the attorney for RL&M Properties, LLC.
All right. I see Dallas Stasek is still muted. If you would unmute yourself, please. I'm looking for Anna Galloway.
We're not together anymore.
You're not together anymore. Okay, so we don't expect her to appear. Would that be true?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Stasek, the type of lawsuit that Mr. Mischik has filed on behalf of RL&M Properties is what's called a termination hearing. In other words, he's not interested. They're interested in receiving the money that you owe, but they're not interested in continuing the relationship with you. In other words, they want to get the property back. Now, the hearing we're going to have for this is on June 9th at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
That's next week. We do have members of legal services if you wish to meet with them, but let me find out what the number is. I'm not asking you to agree to the number, but it's important to understand how much money they're asking so you have an idea as to what to anticipate, as well as maybe you make an offer that's less and you can settle the case. I don't know.
Okay.
Mr. Mischik, do you know the amount of money for the money judgment portion?
My client had updated me on that. $11,250 at the time of filing, Your Honor. Plus, it would be at this point an additional month of rent.
And I don't, how much is rent?
And that would be $625. Excuse me.
So $11,850 plus costs, which I have as $283. All right. So, Mr. Stasek, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that that's what I'm awarding today, but just so you know, what they would be asking for at next week's hearing is $11,850 plus $283, so a total of $12,133. But even if you paid it, they're not wanting to continue. So this is just
I
a
understand.
judgment that they're asking for. Do you understand?
Yes, I'm working with Homes to Stay right now, the SARE program.
Okay. But
So
the issue is that they're not wanting you to stay there. Do you have another place you're looking to move to?
just still looking for a place.
Okay. Would you like to meet with one of the representatives from Legal Services of Eastern Michigan just to find out what your options are?
I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not certain whether it's going to be Heidi or if it's going to be Andrew, but
Okay.
one of the two of them I'll need to have agreed to go to a breakout room. And what'll happen, Mr. Stasek, is that once you just see one of the two of them, then you know you're in a private setting and you can share information. If you see all of us, that means like you're in the middle of a courtroom.
Okay.
Judge,
Okay.
I don't mean to interrupt. It'll be Heidi. Andrew
It'll be
is our
Heidi.
legal services intern, so he's with me today.
Got it. All right. So I didn't see you in there, Emily. So we have three people from Legal Services. So
Okay.
Heidi will be meeting with you, Mr. Stasek, to get your information. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Katrina, would you please put Ms. Lytle and Mr. Stasek in a breakout room? And once you're done with that, Mr. Stasek, you're free to leave. But realize next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, you need to be here. Did you already leave? I think you did. All right. Katrina, could you send a note into the breakout room to let them know, remind him of next Tuesday at 1 o'clock? All right. Next file is BZN Management LLC versus Daniel and Teresa O'Hara. This is file 21-23300LT. Would the attorney for plaintiffs please identify himself?
Good morning, Your Honor. Andrew Thompson on behalf of BZN.
All right.
And Emily
Mr.
Dreamer
Bissell.
from,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, Emily Dreamer from Legal Services on behalf of the defendant, here with my intern, Andrew.
All right. Thank you. And Mr. and Mrs. O'Hara, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself.
Yeah, excuse me, Your Honor. Am I excused at this time, or should I wait for?
I'm sorry, Mr. Musick. Yes, you are. I don't see you on any other file. So you're
All
all
right.
set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Mr. O'Hara, Miss O'Hara, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
The type of case that was filed by Mr. Thompson, it looks like is regarding property at 3317 Dawn Drive. Do we have the right address for your property?
That is correct.
Okay, it looks to me as if they requested both a money judgment as well as a termination, meaning that they're not looking to continue the relationship with you, even if you pay. Mr. Reamer has filed an appearance with you, so I presume you're already talking with Legal Services of Eastern Michigan.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Reamer, at this point in time, I presume, well, I guess we might as well find out what the money judgment amount is, so there's not a surprise when we have the hearing for next week. Not saying that it's owed, but just saying, let's find out what the number is. Mr. Thompson.
Good morning, Your Honor. What I'm showing right now is that the outstanding rent is $1,180 with court costs of $236.21 for a total amount of the money judgment of $1,461.21.
Right, I show a number different than yours. It's $130 for the filing fee, $62.42 for service, and $75 statutory attorney fee. So my spreadsheet shows $267.42.
I think one of the service costs was omitted from that. From
That
the
looks
number
to be
that I have.
half.
So you
Okay.
said 67.42, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, 1 second. I can update that number.
So I would then show a total amount of $1447.42.
I got the same number, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next week's hearing, Mr. and Ms. O'Hara is scheduled for June 9th at 1 o'clock. Make sure that you're here and make sure you stay in contact with Mr. Reamer. She will let you know. Do you need to meet with them still today, Mr. Reamer, or?
I do not, Judge. I met with them this morning and I'll give them a call. And Mr. Thompson, I'll send you an email if you just speak with your clients to see if they would accept the SARA program in lieu of the termination and if possible, and we'll chat this week at some point.
Let's talk after the meeting. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll be adjourned. So Mr. and Ms. O'Hara, you're free to go at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge. Heidi will be in for the rest of the cases, taking intake stay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
The next file is the case of Alberto Laviren versus Nitin MSC. This is file 21-23301 LT. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Andrew Thompson on behalf of the plaintiff.
I do not see the defendant here. Katrina, is there anyone else in the virtual waiting room?
No, Your Honor.
Michaela, do you see anyone else in the courthouse that could be the defendant?
No, Your Honor.
All right. This is a termination case. Mr. Thompson, do you have the amount of the money judgment that's being sought?
Yes, Your Honor. Rent through the writ date, which if the hearing is going to be held on the 9th, the writ date would then be the 21st, I believe. So unpaid rent through the writ date would be $19,617.14 with court costs of $232.39 for a total amount of $19,849.53.
All right. So I think there may have been a transposition in the total costs. I showed total costs of $323.39 because filing fee alone was $215.
Got it. Yeah, that was a
So-
transposition. I typed it into
Okay.
the spreadsheet wrong. That's on me, Your Honor. My apologies.
So with those two added in, I show 19,940.53.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. The hearing then will be on June 9th at 1 o'clock. We'll be adjourned on that file. Is that
Thank
it for you today, Mr. Thompson?
Until 9:30, yes.
Till 9:30. Okay.
It's 9:30.
10 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. The next case is the case of Marion Smith versus Donald and Teresa Crawford. This is file 21-23298LT. Could I have Ms. Smith, please unmute yourself?
Good morning.
Good morning. And Ms. Crawford, if you could unmute yourself, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Crawford, do we expect Donald to be with us today?
I have no idea. I left him over a month ago.
Okay. Is he still at 31 West Birchfield, or are you?
I am not. I left.
You are not.
I am not. I have
Okay.
no idea where he is.
Okay. Well, next week at 1 o'clock, we're going to actually have the hearing. Let's find out what the amount of the monetary damages would be. Ms. Smith, how much is the rent that's still due and owing?
June is not included when I gave you the amount. So
Okay.
if it was 4,315, and I like I said, June is not included in that, and the court cost is not included. Oh, I'm sorry, it is. I'm sorry. In the 4,315, it is.
Hang on,
The process,
hang on.
Yeah.
$4,315 does include the court cost, so I have to
Yeah.
back that out again if I separate them. I show $190.
yes,
So
correct.
you've included that in your 4,315.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I did.
That's all right.
And then,
So hang on.
okay,
The month of June, how much is rent per month?
$800
When is the rent due?
on the 1st.
So 21 is 9, 800
And then
divided by 30 equals times 9 equals 239.99. 60. All right, so if I were to grant it, and I can't do that this week because it's a pretrial, but if I were to grant that amount, I can't grant the entire month of June because the people would not be there the entire month. So it has to be prorated. So you take the 800 divided by 30 days, then you get the daily rate, and then you subtract off the 9 days that they wouldn't be there. So it's an added 560.01 to the 4125. The 4125 is your 4315 minus the $190. So it would be 4685.01 plus $190, so 4875.01. All right, Miss Crawford, there you are.
Yes.
We do have representatives from Legal Service Eastern Michigan that could meet with you, so they could let you know what your rights are regarding the case. I suspect you don't want to live there, but in court we call it money damages. That doesn't mean that the property's damaged. That just means the unpaid rent is still owed, and if you sign the lease, you may be responsible for it. So you might want to talk with an attorney just to see what your rights are. We can make one
Our lease
available
was
if you
up in
wish.
December,
Okay.
so we were at a month. My question is, I moved out the end of April. I was not there at all in May. So am I still
Well,
responsible for May?
It's a question you should probably ask an attorney. It would be good for you probably to at least meet with the people from Legal Service of Eastern Michigan. Won't
Okay, I'm
cost
not
you
even
anything but
in
a few
Middle
minutes.
Michigan. I'm nowhere near
sorry?
that. I'm not even in Mid Michigan. Can they still help me though, even though I'm not in the area?
I'm not certain, but you can see if to meet with them to see if you qualify as just an individual who would meet with you by phone or by the internet right now. So we have an intake
Okay.
worker that can talk with you. Okay. Make sure you're
Okay,
here on June 9th at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, there could be a default entered against you, which means you lose automatically. All right. So you want to make sure that you're here. All right. So is Heidi, you're going to be the person? Looks like they're both gone.
I'm still here.
All right, Ms. Smith, you're all set to go. Next, you want to be here next Tuesday at 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll be adjourned.
Bye.
Next case is the case of Tracy Bechtel versus Mike Tomaszak, file 21-23299LT. Mr. Tomaszak, if you would mind, please unmuting yourself. You have to do, if you're on a phone, it's *6. If you're on a computer, it's usually the space bar. There you go.
Oh,
Good morning.
okay.
Which one was it?
I don't know. It came up, it popped up to unmute it.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's even easier then. Are you Mike Tomaszak?
Yes, I am.
Okay. This is the case, Tracy Bechtel versus Michael Tomaszak. This is a termination of the relationship. They're not asking for any money damages, just asking to get the property back. Your hearing will be June 9th at 1 o'clock. Are you interested in meeting with individuals from Legal Services of Eastern Michigan?
No, I am not.
Okay. So make sure you're here June 9th at 1 o'clock. Are you still living at the property at 7408 Columbine?
Yes, I'm in the process of moving my stuff to a storage unit, and I have found a place that I can get into on June 15th.
Okay, well then, if you show up on June 9th, you'll be given a date. If everything goes the way that I think that it would go, you would given until the 21st and able to move out. So you'll be out a week ahead of time.
Okay.
So if you're out by that June 9th, maybe you want to talk to Miss Tracy Bechtel, because if you're out, maybe they would dismiss the case rather than having a judgment. They're not asking for any money, but it's just not good to having a judgment against you.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
We'll be adjourned then. Thank you.
Yep.
The next case is the case of Paul and Beth Yatch versus Rebecca Lloyd, file 21-23304LT. And it looks like I have the Yatches with me. If you would please identify yourselves.
Paul Yatch.
All right. Today's time of day set for a pre-trial. It looks like Mr. and Mrs. Yatch, this is regarding property located at 197 South 11 Mile Road. Do I have the right address?
Yes.
I show that personal service was done on May 27th, notifying the defendant to be here. Is there anyone in the virtual waiting room, Katrina?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone in the courthouse, Michaela?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Yatch, I am required to set this. There's going to be a status conference date on June 30th at 10 o'clock by Zoom.
Got it.
All right. We'll see you at that time. Same information you used today.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be adjourned. Is that in the 9 o'clock docket, Katrina?